Good morning to the Saturday morning CEO and
Economan.
Hey, that's my line. Economan radio show. Stop.
You paused.
Well, I guess you complete me. Yeah. But hey, we got some announcements, and then we got a really special guest today, so stay tuned. First of all, I just want to do a plug for our Economic Forum that's coming up on February 28th
All right.
on the Menifee Valley campus from 1 to 2. We have a new car. She's going to be presenting the financial conditions and monetary policy.
What kind of car?
Well, hopefully a car that goes. So that's at the Menifee Valley campus on February 28th at starting at 1 in room 927. And I think you have an announcement too, Dennis.
I do. Do I?
Well, you sure do.
Oh, no, not till next week.
Oh.
The San Diego announcement?
Yes.
Yeah, there's an announcement about San Diego. Next week, I'll have all the details.
Well, thank you for that update.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, hey, let's go right to our guest. We have our guest on. Our guest is Yoti Telio, and he is a Grammy-winning engineer, author, producer, and a CEO and owner of Heirloom Photography. And let me tell you about Yoti. He has curly hair, Dennis.
He does.
And he gets his curly hair from his great-great-grandfather, Zerzetti. Did I say that right?
Did he say it? Can you hear us, Yoti?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can jump in there.
Okay, I'm jumping in there.
All right. So correct us anywhere we're wrong or allow us to be wrong.
Well, first of all, my name is Yoti. Yoti.
Yoti.
Did I say Yoda?
I think you say Yachty.
Oh, Yachty. That was Dennis's prep time, so I'll have to blame him.
No. He was thinking of Yahtzee. He was playing this morning.
Yahtzee Yoti. Well, hey,
So Yoti's Heirloom.
Yes, Heirloom Photography, and he's an author and a producer and photographer, and he's here to tell a little bit about his business and also how to possibly run a photography business and his insights as business.
Absolutely. In fact, Yoti and I talked the other day, and we're really glad to have you on the show, Yoti, because Yoti is not only a photographer. You know, a lot of artists, like when we had Nathan Osmond on a few weeks ago, as a musical artist, he talked about the importance, too, of, you can have something that's a hobby because you're an artist and you just kind of run with it and you never really make any money with it or do it as a business, or you can run it as a business. And Yoti is very successful with his business. He doesn't just do it on the side. He's got a studio. He does stuff for famous people, and he's a great business mind as well as a awesome photographer. So Yoti, we are really glad to have you on the show, and we'd like to hear a little bit about what got you interested in photography and what made you have a business mind. How did you become Yoti that you are?
It was the force.
Well, Dennis, it's an absolute pleasure to be on your show. I absolutely love what I do for a living, and I'd love to share how I got to where I'm at. It all started in Bucharest, Romania. I was helping my photographer father photograph weddings. In Eastern Europe, believe it or not, the one image that everybody wants at a wedding is a family portrait. It's not a portrait of the bride being dipped into the sunset, the veil flowing into the wind, and the groom kissing her on the nape of her neck, which we see in every single bridal magazine in the Western culture here. My job as a 6-year-old little boy was to make sure that everybody's clothing was perfect. My dad would be staying back about 10, 15 yards from the group. The group was on the church steps, the bride side of the family to one side, the groom side of the family to the other, all the little kids in the front. And my dad would point to one side of the group or the other, and for me to look for imperfection. Something like maybe their collar was like this, so I needed to take it out and fix their collar. Their pants were out of the shirt was out of their pants. The kids were not looking at the camera. And my dad, all he would do was point to one side of the group or another, and I was supposed to figure it out. And I was 6 years old when I started.
Wow.
Then after that, after the photograph, this is in the days of the black and white film. We would go over to our house, and we had a makeshift darkroom in our bathroom. and my dad would start taking the roll of film and start putting it into the developer tank and developing it, and then we would make a contact print, and then my dad would choose the one image that was the best, and that was the one that all the kids were looking at the camera, all the folks looked good, and then we started printing over 100 of them. And as a young boy, if you can imagine, if your audience and yourself can relate back to the days of photography, when you see the image appear under the magic red light in the developer, it is the most magical thing ever. It's like, how can I do this over and over again? It was like, it was surreal. And then we would take that one print, and we would, like I said, print hundreds, and then we had to dry the print. They had the old stainless steel drums that you would put the 8x10 prints on, and then after that we would put this canvas rollers on top and then dry the prints. Then we would take the prints and go back to the reception later in the evening. Now keep in mind, we've been doing this all day from like 1 o'clock until 8 or 9 o'clock, so like 8 hours straight. And we would go in and we'd start selling them. Very similar to what they do in Las Vegas today, but we did it way back in the 70s.
Wow.
And it was instant gratification. So I learned at an early age that you have to make sure that the clients look their very best, or they're not going to invest in their money into your services. So if they didn't look good, they say, no, that's okay, no thank you. And everybody wanted to buy that one family picture with everybody that was at the wedding. And that's how we made our money, basically. So that's what was my start in the photography business.
That's pretty good. I'm actually old enough to remember some of that darkroom stuff. And are you sure you just didn't go in there for the smell of the chemicals?
There's something about sulfur that is not too appealing.
Getting high on photography.
That's right.
Well, hey, how has digital photography changed the photography business?
Other than digital photography?
Yes.
Is that the question?
Yes.
The digital photography business is awesome because it allows us to give our clients an absolute product that they're looking for. In the days of film, it used to cost us approximately $1 to find out that the bride blinked. And what I mean by that is we had to pay for the film, we had to pay for developing, we had to see a proof, and then we would realize that the bride blinked, so we would literally throw away that $1. Also, that we were limited. We used to tell our brides, it's like, all right, sweetheart, how many rolls of film would you like us to cover your wedding with? And they'll go, what? I just want you to photograph our wedding. Well, how many rolls of black and white film do you want? And then if we were inside of the church, we had one roll of film that was high ASA, which was dealing with the low light conditions. But then right after that, we'd have to go outside, and then that film was way too sensitive for the light. So we would literally waste film as well because we had to switch immediately to the portraits. In today's day and age, we're actually able to document, make sure that the bride doesn't blink by looking in the back of the camera. We also can make sure that we switch between high ISO and low ISO, and we can literally see our results immediately. That's the good part. Here's the bad part. The bad part is that now everybody with a camera is a photographer, and it's truly buyer beware. Because what's happening is everybody, who has a membership at Costco has passed by a camera display, and it shows a camera kit for $789, and they're like, oh, I can do this. And then the first thing that happens is they start photographing their children, which is beautiful, and that's something that should happen. Then they show their pictures to their friends, and then their friends go, oh, Betty, you ought to do this for a living. You're really good at it. and Betty goes, you really think so? Yeah. And then after that, Betty takes every single credit card that she has. She goes in and buys every little single gadget that you can think of because now her friends are telling her she's a photographer. And then Betty realizes the cost of doing business. And she was selling these prints for $5, but she realizes that she hasn't offset her $5,000 worth of equipment first. It costs $4.35 a gallon to drive over to the local Target, Walmart, Walgreens, whatever it is to develop, but she's selling the print for a couple of bucks, and she feels good about it. And then at the end of the year, her husband asked, "Sweetheart, we're not making any money. What's going on?" "Oh, I'm almost there. And then they go about maybe another year, and then they go belly up and says, "No, I don't do that anymore." But what's happening is the people that do the wedding, that's the biggest challenge, because that's where the money is at. And what they do is they get people to give them $1,500, $2,000, $2,500, and they're not able to produce because it's a lot of work. It looks easy, but it's not easy. So that's another aspect. One more thing is we used to take our rolls of film, give them to the labs, and we used to go play golf. We don't do that anymore. Now we are slaves to the computers. We have to come back. We have to download all our CF cards. We have to weed out all of the images. Which are the good ones? Which are the ones that the bride blinked? Which is every single, put them in the different groups. The getting ready, the ceremony, the formal portraits, the romantic portraits, the celebration in the evening. Then present them and put them online, and then people order them and design the albums. So now it's a lot more labor intensive, and I am one of the ones that has really fought subletting our work to India. A lot of photographers are taking all this, and they're literally taking their cards, they're putting them online, they're uploading the images to India, and in India, that's where they're doing all the proofing. A lot of the high volume photographers, that's the only way they're able to compete.
Interesting.
But I'm an all-American boy. I'm a naturalized citizen. I absolutely love this country, and I'm all about keeping it in America.
Yippee-ki-yay!
Absolutely, yeah. Hey, it sounds like, too, what you're saying is, instead of just dabbling in it like a lot of people do, like Betty did, in the example you used, that, if you want to be a wedding photographer, I mean, it's a lot of work, and you've really got to be married to it, don't you? So to speak.
It's a lot of work. Truly, the majority of our work, which is probably 40 hours of work after the event, is in the post production. The fun part is going to the wedding and celebrating and capturing and getting creative, but it's also getting creative in post production. But it's a lot of work, and that's where the photographers, as I like to call them, FAUX. They misrepresent themselves, and what they try to do, and what I've seen recently, is they steal pictures from other photographers to put in an iPad, which they meet somebody at a Starbucks, and they pass off the work as their own.
Wow.
So when a bride and a groom says, "Oh, I really like this image, can you make it for me?" "Oh, no. I am a lifestyle photographer." And what they start doing is they start vilifying the professional trade, because the professionals, they pose, they use lighting, and the reason that they vilify it is because they're not able to duplicate it, because they don't understand photography. What they do is they put the camera on P for professional, as we like to joke in our profession, and then they start taking pictures, and they know what they like. They like the expressions, they like the artistic, but they have no idea how that image is created or captured. Therefore, they cannot duplicate it.
That's good. Well, Yoti, I want to ask you, we've got a few minutes before we go to a commercial break. I'd like to have you share with me, what you shared with me the other day about capturing your history of your family and all that stuff before we go to break. And then when we come back from break, I want you to talk a little bit more about the business end of what you're doing, how you market yourself and all that kind of stuff. So can you share with me, you shared like the story of meeting with your grandmother, going through the photo album and finding out about your hair and all that stuff. Can you share that story with us in about 3 minutes?
Yes. First of all, I'm gonna pose the same question that I posed to you. Do you know what we photograph, and who do we photograph for?
Dewey already answered the question, so it's for you now.
I'm really good at multiple choice.
You're really good at multiple choice? Okay. Who do we photograph for? Do we photograph for us? Do we photograph for our children? Or question mark?
Well, I'm kind of like Betty. I like to snap and shoot, but to get to your answer, I'm for the object. For example, when I shoot for my children, it's really about the person I'm taking the picture. It's really not about me.
No. Okay. what I'm saying is, who are we creating these photographs for? Maybe that needs to be a little more clear. When we're creating these images, who are we creating the images for?
For loved ones, family.
There you go.
Okay.
You're getting close. You're getting warm.
Well, Dewey, you have the top one answer. You have one of the top answers.
Yes, I win. What's my prize?
Really quick, the main reason that we photograph, Dewey, is we photograph for our future generations. Were you fortunate enough to see images of your mom and dad when they were younger children, perhaps?
Yes, that's a good point, because when you were discussing that, I was thinking about on my grandma's farm we grew up, and I was looking at their black and whites back in the 30s and 40s, and they're so unique, and it piques your curiosity. Wow, that was my great grandfather, and he did this and did that in front of his Model T and whatnot. So yeah, the memory markers are great.
Yeah, what happens is, a lot of times as parents we become a little selfish. What we think about is like, well, you know what? I don't want to be in the picture. It's okay. I'll just photograph the child. It's for him. Well, it's not really for him, because that question that I just asked you kind of helps you realize who it's for. It's for generations that are sometimes not even yet born. True. Because we all yearn to look at our parents. One of the cool things that we do is when we are adults, we look at images of our parents at the same age that we are, because we want to have that place of belonging. It's like, wow, look, I get my chin from my dad, I get my eyes from my mom, or etc. And it places you into the family tree of our existence.
That is true. So how did you find out about your hair? We got 30 seconds before we go to commercial here.
My grandfather had passed away, and then I was helping my grandmother grieve. I was really concerned about my hair, because my father's bald, my grandparents are bald, my two brothers are bald. And as I was going through the pictures with my grandmother, there was a picture of Grandpa Zorzetti, and my grandmother was sitting on his lap at my age with this hair. So now I know it wasn't the milkman.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk some more about business and how Yoti runs his business so successfully.
Yoti's got good roots.
Yeah, he does. Good roots. I love it.
Your fairy godmother?
Cinderella's dream comes true because the glass slipper fits.
It fits!
In our world, the right fit can be just as important, especially when it comes to car seats. Always choose a car seat that's the right fit for your child's age and size to make sure your little pumpkin gets there safely every time.
Hop in, dear. Thank you.
For more information, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. This message has been brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Chris, can you put the video game controller down for a second?
I can talk and play. Oh, I'm totally annihilating this punk kid in Nebraska.
I just feel like you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
Well, you still ride your skateboard to work, there's the comic book collection, the race car bed.
Look, I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I picked up a few savings tips at feedthepig.org. I have control over my financial life now, and that feels pretty grown up.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. For free ideas and easy tips on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
So, I bet I look like a grown-up to you now.
Well, except for the footy pajamas, I'd have to agree.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Saturday Morning CEO and Economan radio show. I'm Dennis, the Saturday Morning CEO.
And I'm Dewey, the Economan.
And we have I don't know what we have, but it's contagious.
Just read the cue card. Read the cue card.
If you would like to contact us here on the show, either we already sent you an invite to join the Hangout. You can be watching the show if you're listening to it, unless you're driving right now. But if you're on your computer and you want to watch us and see our crazy faces, we are on SM Radio. That's for Saturday morning radio. smradio.org/YouTube. And you can watch us live. We are streaming live right now.
We're on YouTube?
We are on YouTube and MyTube.
Hey, can our European markets view YouTube?
Yes, they may.
Oh, good.
They can hear us on the radio or watch us. How's that?
Very good.
Hey, we're going to bring Yoti back on. Yoti is the best photographer in the universe, and we are glad to have him here with us on the show. He will share a little bit with us about the business end of running his photography business. I mean, is there more to it than just taking pictures and then seeing what develops? Yoti? Do customers just walk in the door?
Time to develop.
So
basically the today's economy has totally changed. It's maybe some of your audience that is familiar with business is familiar with the Who Moved My Cheese?
Who Moved My Cheese? Yep.
That is a great little book. Basically, the concept is constantly changing. We're constantly fighting the photographers. The onset of the iPhone cameras and the Android cameras and the point and shoots and the face detection and the smile detection, everybody's a photographer. The challenge that they have is not everybody's got the artistic eye. As long as there's going to be human imperfection, there's going to be a need for professional photographers. You're going to have your lazy eyes. You're going to have your double chins. You're going to have your crooked smiles. You're going to have your bald spots. You're going to have every human imperfection you can think of. And it takes a photographer to know and the angles of somebody's face, the angles of their body, what's the best type of lighting. Is it a masculine pose? Is it a feminine pose? Here, it's exactly, I see Julian in the back, and he's doing exactly right. There's masculine poses and feminine poses. Now here, this is something that you don't see on the radio, but because you have this type of ability, I'm going to show you different things. This, straight towards the camera, that's very offensive. Usually a gentleman's portrait is slightly off to the side. A woman's is looking over her shoulder at you in a really nice, inviting manner. You got to know how to pose people. Not everybody poses the same. Angles, you shoot down, you shoot up, you shoot at eye level. There are a lot of businessmen that are not that tall. You never shoot down on a small businessman because you make him look like puny. There's no power to him. What you do is you kind of shoot up at a small businessman to show strength, even though he's only 4'10".
Right, he's literally a small businessman.
Yeah, so these are all the different tricks. So what has happened is people are coming to me to make sure that they look their very best, and all my years of experience since I was 6 years old, I can apply. And there's something to be said about somebody that's been doing photography for 3-4 months and somebody that's been doing photography for 30 plus years.
Right.
We as professionals, even yourself, Dennis and Dewey, you guys make your craft and your skill look so flawlessly easy. But that's only because you've been doing it for so long and it's become second nature to you. A lot of people make the mistake of, it looks easy. Well, no. If it looks easy, it most likely maybe it's not as easy as it looks. So
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
How does somebody that is dabbling in photography that says, hey, I want to do this the right way. I really want to make this a business. And they weren't photographing with their father when they were 6 years old like you were. What is there training? Should they go get a degree? I mean, I've got a friend that's got a degree in photography, or should they work with a photographer a while? Well, I mean, what if you were starting out right now? What would you do to get yourself to a position where you're really becoming a professional?
That is a very great point. The first thing that I would tell somebody is you just make sure that you never become a jack of all trades, a master of none. Focus on one aspect of photography that appeals to you, and only on that. If you want to photograph everything in the world, and the analogy that I have is stamp collecting. I used to collect stamps when I was a little kid, and I wanted every stamp out there. But then I realized that there's so many stamps out there that I can never have any awesome collection because I can never have everything. So then I started specializing in collecting sales ships. So if a stamp had a sales ship on it, then I would only collect that. And it allowed me to narrow it. It was a lot more impressive when I showed my stamp collection to my friends. Now, how does that apply to photography? My absolute love, and you know me, Dennis, my absolute love is heirloom portrait photography. The kind of portraits that you leave behind. And that's because of who I am. That is because of the family portraits that I started creating when I was 6 years old. And I know the importance of them because after, it's, we're all gone and wilted away like flowers. What we leave behind are these portraits which help the people remember. So here's the thing. If you like nature photography, pursue nature photography. If you want to make money in photography, you gotta. I'll share with you what an old professional photographer shared with me. I used to photograph ladybugs, and I used to photograph flowers, beautiful art pieces. But then I would have to go to art shows and try to find somebody that appreciated ladybugs. And that is beautiful. Bottom line is, ladybugs and art collectors are not in the masses. So if you want to make money in photography, you have to photograph people. People have budgets.
Right, but ladybugs can't buy their pictures. They don't have budgets.
Right. So, So if you like landscapes, perfect. You want to make money in photography? Take people and put them inside of landscapes. So that way, what you're passionate about deep in your heart, it's still in that portrait.
That's good. So they need to specialize. So how do they get their training then?
So what they need to do is they truly need to find their inner self and what they like to do. And don't do anything, even in photography, don't do anything that you're not passionate about. I photograph everything, but my passion is strictly the heirlooms. So let's use an analogy to a hospital. You have a cardiac specialist, but that specialist also went to doctoral school and can pretty much diagnose a lot of other things, but his specialty is cardiology. You have an oncologist. So that's what makes these people great. For me, I'm an heirloom portrait artist specialist. That's what I specialize in. However, I can photograph business portraits. I often joke that I photograph everything from babies' butts to satellite parts. So it doesn't really matter.
Not in the same photo.
That's a pretty good market spectrum.
That's true.
You start from the beginning and end at the end.
From the moon to the moon.
Well, hey, Yoti, I got a question for you. It sounds like this is all great advice for our listeners. It sounds like photography can be a generalist or a specialist. But regarding the business side, would you recommend to listeners to maybe take a course at a college, or do you pick up the experience of how to manage the books? How do you handle that side of your business?
Okay, I want to tell you something that if somebody's out there looking to become a photographer, I'm going to tell you the God's honest truth.
Oh, good. That's all we need.
95% of what I'm doing is business. 5% is photography. And if you think it's different, you're fooling yourself.
Yeah, say that again for our listeners.
Better be damn good. Yeah. Because people will not come to you if it's not damn good. That's not an arrogant statement. That is a statement of reality. The one suggestion that I would give your listening audience is do not take photography classes. Take business classes if you want to have a business.
Good for you.
Take small business management. Take accounting. Take everything that has to do with that, because that's going to help you. Because that is the 95% that matters. Yes, also take photography classes, but do not hang your hat on the photography. I have had through my studio numerous students that have graduated from Brooks Institute, from other places that they study photography. The challenge with some of those places is that they do not put enough emphasis on the business aspect of it. And these people that came to me was only because they could not do it on their own, and they wanted to see what I'm doing, so that way they can kind of mimic and do it themselves. So they were moonlighting, working for the portrait studio at the mall. So business, I cannot say it enough, business. Hit that.
Awesome.
And when, after the next break, I'm going to tell you the story on how I got my business acumen. I was fortunate enough to have two great grandfathers in my life, God rest their soul. I had an Italian grandfather who taught me the theory of art, with showing me art history, teaching me how to paint, teaching me how to see light. That was my Italian grandfather. My Greek grandfather, he's the guy that taught me the business aspect of it. And I have an amazing story, which is my grandpa's story, that I'm going to share with you after we come back.
Well, we've got about 4 minutes.
Again,
can you share it with us now?
Local colleges, dabble in some photography classes, find out about composition, find out about leading lines, color harmony, all of the things that are important in photography that will aid you in your creativity process. But do not discount the business, because you will fall. There are so many hidden things that people do not understand about business. You can't just say, people will not come knocking at your door and saying, I hear you're this great photographer. Please photograph my family. Never, ever did it ever happen. It was always as a referral from somebody. It was always because of a piece that I've done in my marketing. It was always because I got involved with the local hospital, and I did photos for their maternity unit, for their waiting room. I've done photos for the cancer ward, and people see my name. And it's all of these positive impressions that help them raise their hand and goes, who's this Yoti guy? And that's how the people come to me. So all of these things I didn't learn in any photography class, and I've taken photography classes. I learned those as a result of attending continuing education seminars, taking business courses in college. That's where I learned all this. And another thing that I do is I study other industries, not photography, other industries, to where I can take a widget principle and apply it to my industry that other photographers are not doing. So when I see another photographer do something, I run away from it, and I do something totally different.
I agree wholeheartedly. That's very good advice. And 7 out of 10 small businesses usually fail. The question I'd like to ask you, Yoti, is that some photographers come in and they just have a passion for the field, but you're emphasizing the business side of it. And in order to understand the industry, you're doing a great thing, which we call benchmarking. You're going and checking different industries and see what they're doing. So how do you deal with somebody who has creativity, has passion, and they're not really excited about the business side of it? They're just interested in just the art side. How would you address something like that?
Well, let me just give you, Dewey, the quick definition. If you want to be a starving artist, continue doing what you're doing.
That's good advice.
Wow, you really moved the cheese on that one.
Yeah, that's right.
Really, you want business? Okay, you can't be a pilot without an airplane. You can't be a photographer without understanding business in a business. You cannot be a successful professional, money-earning, pay for my bills, feed my family photographer without understanding business. It cannot be done, because you have to understand marketing. You have to understand how to get people happily involved to crack their wallet and pay for your services. The greatest, I would work for the tears if I didn't have a wife, a child, and a mortgage, because I am that passionate about what I do. But putting that aside, I still need to earn a living in order to take care of my overhead.
Well said.
I think that's good. And that comment that you made about looking at other industries, if our listeners, if you guys did not catch that, that is a golden nugget of information. I really think that I want to emphasize that for you. look at what others are doing and see how you can apply it to your own, because that can make your business unique because you've applied something that everybody else who's in your industry hasn't noticed. So I really appreciate that nugget of information there. That's excellent. So we got about 30 seconds. Can you give us one quick idea of marketing that has worked well for you as a photographer?
Basically having galleries all throughout my community to where I display local families, so that way people look at the images and they say, wow, I know the Smiths. The Smiths are my neighbors. And then another piece of marketing that I've done was amazing is I display images of local restaurants, and I go to a restaurateur and I say, may I put some family pictures in here so that way people can see my work?
Hey,
because why would I want to do that?
We're going to run to break. We're running to break. We'll be back.
We'll be right back with Yoti.
And Yoti is still going, but we are going to break. Sorry, Yoti.
For the California Dental Association, Christy Yamaguchi.
As an Olympian and daughter of a dentist, I know the importance of having healthy teeth and a bright, healthy smile. Tooth decay is the #1 childhood disease, more than asthma and obesity. That's why a new state law requires that kindergartners receive a dental checkup. So parents, prepare your children for school. Take your child to see a dentist. It'll make you smile too.
For more information, call 800-CDA-SMILE.
Do you suffer from the heartbreak of brain rot, feeling bored, sluggish, listless, not had a new idea in days, using electronic gizmos without a clue why they work? Now there's help. Ham radio, guaranteed to stimulate your corroding neurons and open a whole new world of excitement. To learn more about ham radio, go to helloradio.org.
Side effects of ham radio usage include mental stimulation, desire for education, new career paths, understanding of technology, and cases of addiction have been reported. If you experience any of these symptoms, you're welcome.
Ham radio. It's not your granddaddy's radio anymore.
They were outnumbered, out-equipped. They had no chance of winning, but they had one huge advantage: General George Washington.
The fate of unborn millions will now depend, under God, on the courage and conduct of this army. We have to resolve to conquer or die.
Just as the leadership of one man helped form a nation, today leadership can transform the world. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
It's like FM without the commercials. It's like XM without the quality. It's AM 1620, the Eagle Radio Network.
Good morning, and welcome back to the last show ever in the month of February of 2013. I'm Dennis, the Saturday Morning CEO, and
I'm Dewey, the Column Man, and it is a very good morning. We have Yoti
Telio.
That's a tough one. Could you have an easier name?
Hey, we are glad to have you back on the show, and we've got you here for about another 5 minutes or so, and then we're going to go to our little other segments, but we'll keep you on so you can make fun of us if you would like. So tell us your story, and then we also want to find out how people can contact you, what area you're in. If people, you're the best in the world, so if people are willing to fly you out to New York to take pictures of their weddings, you're willing to go, right?
I've done work all over the world, yes.
There you go.
The best way to contact me is I'm very active on Facebook. It's Yoti, Y-O-T-I, Telio, T-E-L-I-O. That's where I post the majority of my fresh work. I'm pretty conservative about posting stuff on my regular web page. I just have a lot of information, only because I'm respectful of people's privacy. And once you post an image on the internet, it's lost forever. So at least with the Facebook concept of it, at least somebody in my sphere of influence, somebody that knows somebody, is raising their hands because they're interested in seeing my work, and I post it on Facebook, and that's where I do it. My website is scphotostudio.com, and you can also send me an email at Yoti, Y-O-T-I, at photo.net.
Photo.net. That's a nice, easy one.
Santa Clarita, California. The studio's in Valencia, which is a suburb of Santa Clarita. And I travel everywhere. I got some weddings in Napa. I got some assignments in Las Vegas in the next couple of days. I'm going to be at the LAX Sheraton covering the Rockstar Entrepreneur Conference. I pretty much, it's a global economy. Somebody else's plane, I'm willing to travel.
Oh, that's good. Well, we're really glad to have you on the show, and I know you've got a busy schedule, and we're grateful that you took the time to share some of your nuggets with us. So you wanted to share your story of the information you got from your two grandfathers, so why don't you do that? And we've got about 5 minutes here, so we will kind of end with that and move on to our next part of the program.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite stories. I used to help my grandfather at the swap meet. He was a beekeeper, and he used to sell honey. And he used to have me go and help him translate because I picked up English a lot faster than he did in his 70s. So he used to pay me $1 a day to help him. And in the process, I discovered that while playing with the neighbors' kids, is that their parents were paying them $5 a day.
Oh.
So I'm like, whoa. So I went up to my grandpa, and I asked him, I said, Grandpa, is there any way I can have a raise? So in his Greek way, he goes, Telis? What do you want? I said, well, I want a raise, please. And he said, no. If you're old enough to ask me that question, that means that your head is thinking. So what we're going to do is you're going to save $10. Once you save $10, come back to me, and I'm going to teach you some more lessons. I was curious. I saved the $10, but it was really hard because back in the day, Jolly Ranchers were 10 cents a piece. and I used to get 20 Jolly Ranchers because I used to work Saturday and Sunday, and it would last me all week, and I was cool at school. So I saved it. Then I went up to Grandpa after he gave me the $10, and I said, okay, Grandpa, now what? He goes, put it in your tsepi, meaning put it in your pocket. I'm like, okay. And he goes, next Friday, ask me about it. I'm like, okay. So the following Friday, the day before the Saturday going to swap meet, I asked him, I said, okay, Grandpa, now what? He goes, tomorrow morning, instead of 6 o'clock, we're going to wake up at 5 o'clock. And then we're going to go to the swap meet. I'm like, what? Earlier? I'm getting punished? That's not fair, Grandpa. And it really sucked for me because back in those days, Saturday morning cartoons rocked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we went to the swap meet. We got there, and he says, "Okay, now let's go walk around the swap meet." We walked around the swap meet, and there was a big van. A lot of people congregating. It was a 1970s Dodge van. It kind of looked like a big old bumblebee. You guys remember those?
Oh yeah.
And next to the doors that were opening on the side, there were 2 fishing poles. So my grandpa finds the guy that was selling the fishing poles and asks, "How much do you want for the fishing poles?" And then the guy said, "I want." Make it $7 a piece. My grandpa looks at him and goes, come on, how about $10? They're for the kid. I don't want fishing poles. I hate fishing. So grandpa goes, give me the money. So I took my money, and I got, like a kid, I had them all once. It was not a $10 bill. It was 10 $1 bills because I wanted a big wad. So I gave it to my grandpa, and then he gave them to me, and I carried them all the way to the to the booth. And I dragged them. To this day, I wish I never did that. I threw them in the back of the van, and Grandpa said, "Help me open up the store, the booth." So I opened up the booth. I put everything together, and he goes, "The last table over there to the right, don't put anything on it." He goes, "I want you to clean those fishing poles." I had to take all the fish guts and everything else. If you guys have seen my big fat Greek wedding, my grandpa did have a bottle of Windex underneath the seat. I cleaned it, and then he said, put it there, but I don't want you to put it there until 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock? It was like 2 more hours. Like, okay. At 10 o'clock, somebody walks up and he goes, how much for the fishing poles? My grandpa said, $15 a piece. The guy says, take 25 for both? Grandpa said, yes. Then Grandpa calls me, he goes, grandson, this is the end of your story, of the lesson. I want you to know that I love you with all my heart. I would pay you $100 a day if I could. But there'll come a day when Grandpa won't be here to pay you, and you need to feed yourself. So that's what he taught me. He taught me entrepreneurship. And the best part of that story is every single thing that he taught me along the way is a business principle. This is a man that did not go to university or a Harvard School of Business. And he taught me to save. He taught me to negotiate. He taught me to invest some of my own time into anything and make it better and not feel guilty about asking for money out of people. And I owe a lot to my grandfather, and for that, I am very thankful.
What a great story.
That's an awesome story.
Wow, that's inspiring.
Yep, and in fact, I'm going to change that old adage of give a man a fish, or he eats for one day, let him buy a fishing pole, and he'll know how to live for his life. So, Yoti, we really appreciate having you on here. Can you give us your website again so that people can contact you, and then we're going to move on to our next segment.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It's www.SC as in Charles, photostudio.com. And my name is Yoti, YOTI-TELIO, and you can find me on Facebook. Thank you so much, Dennis.
Thank you, Master Yoti. We appreciate it.
Master Yoti.
All right. Hey, we're going to find out a little bit more about our economy so that we can, the more we know, the happier we are. Isn't that right?
Well, I don't know. It works both ways. The more you know, the sadder you are.
Let's find out about our happy economy.
Hey, today in the news, most of you probably have noticed that gasoline prices are rising. The service station sticker shock. Just to let you know, for you people who live in California, California leads the nation.
Yay!
$4.25 plus.
Ooh, that's not good.
However, in D.C., it's about $5 a gallon. But if you want low gas prices, you probably want to drive to Montana or Wyoming. Their gasoline per gallon is, Dennis?
Cheaper.
Very good. Even though that wasn't one of the answers, but it's less than $3.25.
No way. I'm going to go fill up there today.
So the economists are thinking about this 1-2 punch with the increase in payroll taxes based on the Social Security tax going up from 0.2 to 6.2 and rising gasoline prices. This could pinch consumers and reduce spending nationally, which could put us in a stagnation
area. A stagnation.
So we just may be status quo. So, hey, stay tuned. We've got some business crazies coming up. We've got some ways to make money in today's economy. And do you want me to go first?
Oh, yeah, sure. No, I love those.
You love those? Hey, this one way to make money in this economy that someone's figured out is the $1 Million Homepage. You ever heard of the $1 Million Homepage, Dennis?
Actually, I have, believe it or not, but our listeners probably haven't, so you better tell them.
Well, hey, there's this young, inspiring entrepreneur that is probably the most iconic of all crazy ideas that have ever been born. This guy decided to set up a site and sell 1 million pixels for $1 each.
Wow.
So talk about $1 art.
Can I show them that picture real quick?
Sure.
For those of you that are viewing on the radio in your car,
there's a good visual.
That's like a horrible website. It's just full of ads.
And he got a huge amount of publicity on this and ended up making his $1 million.
Wow, incredible.
And now he's gone on to other money-making projects. So there you go. You get $1 a pixel, make 1 million pixels, and you get $1 million. How easy is that?
Yeah, he got voted the ugliest website on the internet. And so everybody wanted to go look at it. So he's got traffic.
All publicity is good publicity.
Absolutely, yeah. That's right. Ask Britney Spears about that.
She shaved her head and looked damn good.
That's right. I see you made a comment here that tractors use more gas, too. So
that was for Montana.
There you go.
We'll still get the poor farmers.
For both of our listeners out there in Montana.
That's probably true, Yoti, but you know what they're going to do? They're just going to go back to horse and plow.
That's it.
It's going to take a lot takes a longer time to get food to the markets. Okay.
The price of hay is going to go up, and they're going to bail.
You got something?
Oh, you ready for us?
On the peanut butter. Ooh, peanut butter.
Okay, here we go. We are going to do the Looney Toony business ideas today. So often times when we share these Looney Toony, what was that word?
Peanut butter.
Crazy stuff. Yes, exactly. We share business ideas that are actually working out there. Today we are sharing, as we have in the past, some people have actually patented some products. And if you don't have an idea of your own and you want to start a business, you can actually pay for the rights to utilize these patents. The USPTO.gov is the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, and you can look these up and find out who invented them and say, hey, I'd like to do that. But we pulled the funniest ones up for you today so that you can see if you want to do them. U.S. patent number 6797310.
Well, thanks for that number.
Just so that you need to know that. Your days are numbered. Is a peanut butter batter pancake mix. Peanut butter batter. Batter.
Oh, that's stuff with peanut butter.
It'll stick to the top of your mouth while you're eating pancakes.
What about your ribs?
You can do that too. I think you have to rub it on your chest though. So it's patented.
Funny.
That's right.
Hey, you know what? I think if they would add chocolate to that, peanut butter, I think you have something. Peanut butter chocolate.
Yes. Pancakes. Ooh, did somebody invent that?
Well, they got chocolate chip pancakes,
so.
But throw in some peanut butter.
Something like that.
You can improve on a patent, Dennis.
I could, yeah, that's right. You can improve on a patent, yeah.
Yeah, so that would be serial number 123569.
All right, here's another one. This is a mirror that somebody invented. I'll hold it up for our viewing audience here. That you could actually look from one mirror to the other and see your earwax. I've always wondered, could I look at my earwax? It would take a real high-tech, camera and video and all that stuff. Or
Dennis, you can add a gift with purchase, a box of Q-tips.
Yeah, that's right. Free with every purchase.
Well, I want to know if how do you know which side's your best side? Maybe we should ask Yoti when you look at your earwax.
That's right. Yeah, when you're taking pictures, are you concerned about their earwax?
Well, maybe I should invest in that mirror.
Yeah, that's right. Let them see. Oh, don't take this side. I've got a lot of wax buildup today.
Stop waxing over the... Okay, let's go.
Okay.
What do we got? We got plenty of time.
Yeah, we do have plenty of time.
We only had 2 minutes.
Do you still have another...
Yeah, sure do. Hey,
let's jump to you then.
Here's another idea. This was actually by a teenage girl. She decided to put on a website called The Whatever Life.
Whatever.
And, yes, whatever. And she had a flair for a creative set. And she put it on a site and offered free tutorials. The idea took off. And now she's around 7 million visitors to visit her website. She's managed to land some major advertising contracts and has received offers, wow. Dennis and Yoti, to buy her site that have exceeded $1.5 million.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's a whatever site.
What's it about? I don't know.
It's whatever.
It's whatever.
So, 1.5 million.
1.5 whatevers.
It's a girl.
That's incredible. I like that.
Whatever.
Okay. Maybe it came up during a sleepover or something. Let's come up with a whatever site. And everybody else at the sleepover are upset because they aren't involved in the contract for that business now. I don't know. Anyway, speaking of dog poop, there is an invention. I won't give you the number, but it is a flush dog poop with an outdoor pet potty that hooks up to your sewer system. So there's instructions how to hook up the piping, and there's a little. I don't think the dog sits on it, but if you want to actually pick up your dog poop and put it in your sewer system, I'm sure your city will thank you. Then you can create this little flushable dog poop toilet for your outdoor sewer system. Isn't that exciting?
What kind of waste management cleaning system do we have with this device?
I don't know.
I mean, is that going to be like a toilet you have to clean?
You know what? This is not only an invention; it's actually out there. You can actually go. It's called Powerloo. Powerloo.
So, does this have a power flush on it?
I think so.
And then also, too, my observation about dogs, I don't know about cats, but, they just go anytime, any place. There's hardly any warning.
Yeah.
How does that... Is that like a portable potty? You got a portable potty?
I don't know. It's on a pipe, so I don't know if you have to get him to go over there or you have to pick it up.
So now you got to train the dog to go potty on a pipe.
I think so. Here's the one for. Now I don't smoke or drink coffee or alcohol or anything, but here's an interesting one. The nicotine infused coffee. Now it's not out there yet, but there is a patent on it. It states that you can have multiple addictions in one cup of coffee. So instead of smoking it, just blend your cigarette into your coffee, I guess. In June 2004 is when Stephen Fortune Jr. Filed for the patent. Can you get one yet? Well, you can't yet. Sorry, but there is coffee-flavored electronic cigarettes, which are almost as good.
That's all we need is students powered up in the classroom with this infusion of nicotine, and oh my goodness!
What else could you make in it? I guess you could put.
Is there an age limit on that?
It's not out there yet.
There's got to be an age limit.
They would have to. They would have to do that. I would think so. How about a business card that you can eat? Have you ever eaten a business card before? I've actually seen one of these.
I have. When the business has gone bad, I sure did eat it.
What if you need to get the number back?
What's that?
What if you need to recollect the number?
I guess you got to wait about 24 hours.
Time to eat another card.
Yeah. And hope that you're fluid with reading. Never mind. So the edible business card. Of course, it's pretty counterintuitive if you want people to save your information. But I guess if you really want to get inside of somebody, then this is a great gift here. This is a edible business card made of chocolate. It is not just an idea or a patent, but it's out there. The Kaufman Company, Kofman ''S Company, Kaufman's Company, Chocolography makes edible business cards, pictures, and CDs. So there you go, Yoti. They make pictures too. You can have it carved into chocolate.
I'm going to gain a lot of weight, so I can't do that.
Yeah, I agree. But somebody wants to, eat a picture of their grandma or something or their mother-in-law.
Oh, that's sick!
That's the heirloom that's so sweet and keeps on giving and giving. Hey, you know what? I've got an idea of how you can sustain those cards. You just put them in the freezer.
Absolutely. That is a very...
Every time someone comes over, I've got a card freeze for you. Here you go.
Very cool idea. I like that. Anyway, okay. Here's another one. I like this one. This one's supposed to be available, too. I looked on their website, though, and it was updated in 2009, so not sure. But these are glasses. Have you ever, lose your... You wear glasses, don't you? Do you wear glasses, Yoti, or not?
Yeah, I got glasses.
Okay, so, they fall off every once in a while. Well, right. How would you like to have them...
Mine never falls off.
You can have them pierced to your face. The little piercings are put in right where the knobs are. Maybe they have some little magnets or something on there. May of 2003 is when John Rose filed his patent. And you want to get one? It says to contact James Suey, Sooy, and Oliver Gibson to try out a pair of pierced glasses.
Hey, that would be great for the teenage market.
Yeah, that's right, because they're already piercing everything anyway.
What's next? Tattoo glasses?
That's great idea. I'm going to patent that. I like that idea.
That's the Polish version because it doesn't have any lenses.
Well, it reminds me of you remember the jerk, the OptiGrab from the jerk. Well, anyway, we have 5 seconds left, so we want you to pierce the radio to your ear for next Saturday when we'll be back. Yoti, thanks for being here.
Yoti, good seeing you. See you next Saturday.
We love you.
Well, somebody loves you.
Your mama loves you. Take a picture of your mom.
And make it a heirloom.